For almost my entire life, I've been involved in education in some sort of way, mostly as a science teacher or as a science student. And it was science that solidified my Christianity, that it solidified my belief in God, because there were so many things that pointed towards him, and the things that the scientists were saying were, I don't know, harder to believe, so to say. And there's one particular aspect of that I kind of want to address in this video, which I made a video on this several years ago talking about how Neanderthal, it made more sense that Neanderthal wouldn't be a different species of human, but they actually be humans. If humans were to live for 900 years, our skeletal system would definitely not look the way it does. It would be thicker. I mean, just think about our teeth. Like, somehow our teeth have to make it 900 years, you know, and then the rest of your skeletal system is set up like that to sustain gravity, like 1,000 years of gravity. I mean, just think about how thick your bones would have to be to make it 900 years. And it's not just that, it's just what they've proven recently is quite a bit when it comes to Neanderthal DNA. Number one, they found that every single race of humans has Neanderthal DNA in them, meaning that we are literally an ancestor of Neanderthal. But what they wrote that off as is they wrote it off as, well, Neanderthal must have mated with humans at some point, which they did. And wouldn't it be strange, you know, because ultimately, as you had Neanderthal walking the earth, and then you have humans walking the earth after them, and you have a short period of time where there was both of them. And wouldn't you know, the only place on earth that they interacted with each other, or at least mated with each other, was in the mountains of Iran. Now think about that for a second. That's literally where Noah's Ark settled. So here you have these race of 900-year-old people giving rise to a race of 100-year-old people, and interbreeding to some degree. And that's right around the time when God said no more, living to be 1,000 from now on. 125 is the maximum age. So then you have this rise of a different looking human. It would have had to have looked different. And of course they would have bred together, which, you know, if you've studied biology, it's really the definition of a species is, or one of the definitions is, organisms that can reproduce with each other are among the same species. And in the mountains of Iran, we're the only place on the planet where Neanderthal and humans interbred. And all of them, not some of them, all of them. Every race has Neanderthal in them. Again, not some, all. So I believe really what you're looking at makes way more sense than just, you know, one day there weren't humans and all of a sudden there were. Like there were Neanderthal and then there were humans. Just popped out of nowhere kind of thing. Like, makes way more sense. You know, and not just that it makes sense, but that was written, I mean, goodness gracious, by Moses, you know, like he wrote Genesis, he wrote that account of what played out, but yet, as we look historically, it's the same thing, it's the same thing. So, I mean, again, it just makes more sense that we would have, you know, humans with totally different skeletal systems that can last 900 years of gravity. Your teeth can make it 900 years. I mean, just think about that. And then we have the flood. And then we have Noah setting down on the mountains in Iran. And then science tells us that that's where Neanderthal and humans interbred, and that every single human has Neanderthal DNA in us. Think about that. Like, I don't know. It just makes more, the Bible version makes more sense to me as a scientist. So, there you go, man. Pretty interesting stuff. Any thoughts or insight on it? Definitely put it below. I always love when modern science continues to prove God. I just love that stuff. So, any thoughts or insight, put it below.